Welcome back to the classroom. My name is Mr. Wong. Today we'll be covering a question from Module 4, Inquiry Question 1. This is from the 2019 Independent Physics paper, Question 28. Let's explain the exam. Consider the diagram which shows a girl whose hair appears to be floating or standing on end after having just finished blowing or brushing her hair. We see this image here. Explain, let's circle in the command term we're looking into, how this occurs in terms of principles of physics involved. So to go through this question, we need to firstly explain, that is to show a cause and effect. And we need to look at principles of physics involved. So what type of scientific law or theory could we imply or apply to this question? I'll put this in a different color in these annotations. So what's the effect that we see? Well, the effect is the hair of the girl sort of standing, I guess. You could say it's standing up. What type of scientific principle is involved? So we have, if we're assuming that what's going on here is because of the particles splitting apart. So the reason why the hair is sort of splitting ends is because of repulsion of charged particles. Okay, so we'll detail that. How does this occur? So what is the action that was taken to allow this to happen? As you heard, it was from brushing hair, and that actually has to do something with friction between the hair and the comb, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So what scientific law would state that, charged particles would repel against each other? You could say Newton's third law. The two charges are applying equal and opposite forces to each other, but a more correct law to be stating here is the Coulomb's law. Now, Coulomb's law is quite similar. It says that, charges will exert equal and opposite reaction forces to each other. But this Newton's law derived into Coulomb's law is for charged particles. So it's specifically designed to explain how charged particles interact with each other. Okay, so these are all the different components we can include. So let's get started. Change color again. And let's try and do this in dot point perhaps, and a bit of subheadings just to make it quite obvious. So let's go with the how. So how it occurs. The reason why this occurs is due to friction between the hair and comb during brushing. Okay, so when it's brushing, what's actually happening, or what does the friction actually do? So what it actually does is it causes a transfer of charged particles from the comb to the girl's hair. You could also say from the girl's hair to the comb, it doesn't really matter. So that's the how of how it worked, and then this means, so we can look at now the consequence. So as a consequence, the girl's hair has increased concentration of the same charged particle. That could be more negative electrons on her hair. Okay, so what does this do, or what does Coulomb's law tell us? So according to Coulomb's law, the similar or the same charged particles will exert an equal but opposite directional force to each other, thus causing the individual hair to separate as seen in the diagram. Okay, so obviously this is probably a bit more than what you actually need to answer the 3-mark question, but as you can see, we've kind of shown the cause. It's because of the repulsion of charged particles. We've also shown that it's because of Coulomb's law, or stated by Coulomb's law, that when charged particles are side by side each other, they're going to exert an equal opposite reaction force, and as a consequence we see that this girl's hair is standing up. So this was the final response here. You can have a quick read again if you want to. We firstly stated how it occurs, the action that was taken, and as a consequence what happened based on our scientific principle here. Okay, so hopefully this video was of use to you and you found it useful. Give it a like and provide more support. More videos to come out soon enough.